Hello and welcome back to Sorted Food.
Now, summer has finally arrived in the UK, so it's ice cream time, and we thought, let's scour the internet for some home ice cream or gelato machines. We found one with pretty good reviews, so we're going to try it out. Ready for the first one, Jay?
I haven't melted yet.
Recipe number 1. I thought we'd go for classic to start off with. It's just a classic vanilla ice cream custard base. Let's heat up cream and milk in a pan with the seeds of the vanilla pod.
So how would you make this ice cream without an ice cream maker?
So the beauty of ice cream and ice cream machine is it is constantly mixing and churning as it freezes. For you to do this at home, you just need to take it out the freezer every 15-20 minutes and kind of whisk it and stir it.
Okay.
To stop those ice crystals forming too large,
right,
so you get a nice smooth ice cream. It's a bit of a faff, it can absolutely be done. So this isn't a hashtag ad. Let's be clear about that. There's lots of ice cream machines you can buy. This particular one has got the cooling function in it. So it is self-contained and basically it will churn and freeze at the same time, and it's got a few functions. Function for gelato, function for ice cream, and function for kind of granita and ice. So ice cream is not just iced cream. It is basically iced custard. You have to make a custard base and then freeze that. So this is essentially frozen custard. You make a creme anglaise and then you chill it in the fridge, and once it's chilled, you then churn and freeze it. So our classic ice cream recipe is 4 large egg yolks and 125 grams of caster sugar whisked up, and then half and half double cream and whole milk to the volume of 500 ml mixed in. So we've infused the milk and cream with vanilla today, but if you didn't want that, you could just add in little essences or extracts that you can buy: peppermint, lemon, rose water, those kind of things. If the pan hasn't caught, you can put it back in the same pan.
I don't think it's caught, Ebbers.
Excellent. If you've scorched it and burnt a little bit of milk to the bottom, then definitely a clean pan. Keep that over gentle heat, keep it stirring, and you want it to go until it thickens and coats the back of the spoon. You don't want it to scramble. Once you're happy you've got your creme anglaise, you're going to pour it into a clean bowl through a sieve, and that will scoop out your vanilla pod.
Looking good.
Right, Jay, that now needs to cool before we put it into our machine. So in the fridge there is a jug that I made yesterday.
What the f***?
So the great thing about an ice cream mix is you want it cold, so you take a couple of hours in the fridge, but if you leave it overnight, even more of that flavour and vanilla begins to infuse and do wonderful things. It's like a lot of curries and things are better the next day. Now, our machine has been pre-chilling for a while. You take the lid off, pour your custard base in, and set it to go on the gelato setting. So it's like a soft serve.
So just to be clear, that's just creme anglaise now. We could put that over a pudding.
Hot or cold, or we freeze it as it's churning for ice cream. Because the last ingredient in ice cream is air.
Right, that's going, but we've pressed the gelato button, and I thought we were making ice cream, and I don't know what the difference is. And I've been running a food channel for more than 10 years.
So there are a number of differences. One is the churn rate, which will put a different amount of air into it. So a gelato hasn't got as much air, so is denser and therefore melts slower. But it also has slightly different fat content and buttermilk content. Now, we haven't changed the recipe, but we're just changing the churning. So if you did the ice cream function, more air into it, gelato, less, and you can kind of serve it with like a spatula. It's denser. It's kind of, you know when they serve it with a spatula or a spoon as opposed to a scoop? More like that. Now that mixture is going to freeze as it churns. It'll take about 45 minutes or so, but when it's ready, it will stop and it will hold it at the perfect temperature to continue to be servable until you need it up for about 2 hours. But we'll come back to that and we can move on to number 2. Number 2, savoury ice creams.
Ooh. I've made a cheese ice cream before.
You have.
Won a battle.
It did win a battle. I made a batch yesterday. Same method you've just done, but I swapped out the sugar for honey. You still need, even in a savoury ice cream, sugar. Instead of infusing with vanilla, I added herbs, thyme and rosemary, and then once it was thickened, I whisked into it goat's cheese and black pepper. Because I really want to make that kind of black pepper and honey flavour pairing work. Would you like to try some?
Yes. Ice cream and salad. The perfect combination.
And what you have in front of you is a gorgeous beetroot, chicory and orange salad. Roasted beets with some shaved beet as well. There's some toasted hazelnuts, all dressed in a salad, and a dollop of your ice cream.
It looks spectacular. Oh, it's silky.
Cheers.
Okay, you know what the strongest flavour there is? The rosemary and the thyme, first of all. That comes through first. And as the ice cream starts to melt, you then start getting the goat cheese.
I really like that. It's so familiar in terms of the flavour combinations, but the biggest difference is temperature. But it does work, and it is slowly starting to melt and becomes a dressing. So like the one that we've just made, this was made using the gelato setting on the machine. It's very, very smooth.
I made this yesterday. So obviously the machine keeps it at perfect temperature for a couple of hours, but then you can scoop it all out and put it into a container, make sure it's covered, and you can keep it in the freezer, and then 10, 15 minutes out of the freezer just to come back up to a nice spoonable, scoopable consistency. We're still waiting on Jamie's churn. So Barry, number 3, sorbet.
Yes, I adore a sorbet. What flavour am I making?
Peach and elderflower.
Ooh.
Oh, so that's the reaction I wanted.
Oh, I was expecting a mango.
So essentially a frozen dessert that hasn't got any fat in it.
Okay.
So it's a really easy ratio, 1 part sugar, 4 part fruit puree. You need to make the fruit puree about the consistency of double cream, and therefore, depending on the ripeness of the fruit, let it down with elderflower squash. Now,
Yes, chef.
1 volume of caster sugar into your bowl and 4 volumes of fruit puree. Now, give that a little whisk up to dissolve the sugar. That is literally it.
It's just fruit puree and sugar.
Yes, and what you need is about 20 to 30% sugar concentration. So we've put in, if you think 1 part, 4 part, but there's also natural sugars in the peaches. So that should be fine.
Ridiculously simple.
Put it into the machine and it will churn as it goes. So while your peach and elderflower sorbet churns, here are 3 that I made a couple of days ago.
Okay.
Number 1, pear and Pinot Grigio.
Ooh. Pear and Pinot.
Number 2, rhubarb and vanilla, and I actually stewed the rhubarb and cooked it ourselves rather than using tinned.
Very nice.
And the final one, pineapple and ginger, and the ginger was ginger syrup that came from a jar of like the crystallised stem ginger.
Ginger ice cream is my favourite. Why do you put it in with pineapple?
And I put in a splash of white rum.
Oh!
That's his favourite.
Right, I'm trying it, don't care.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It is. Oh, that is delightful.
Is that not more peary than pear?
Yeah, that really is. So how does the alcohol in the wine change? Does it change anything?
You'll notice it's slightly softer. It will change it a little bit, but you're only using a very little bit. It's mostly pear puree, a little bit of wine just to thin it out to the consistency of double cream.
It finishes with wine. Again,
Yeah.
it's like the aftertaste is there.
And I deliberately chose something like a Pinot Grigio, which has got the green fruit, like the green apple, green pear kind of flavours to pair with pear.
Have you done a wine course?
But you can shut up. What is this? I'm just trying to give you logic behind my thinking. Move on to the pink one.
Rhubarb. Big,
Oh.
big rhubarb.
And there's no dairy in that one. Because it
really
tastes
creamy.
creamy.
About 25% sugar, but that, as it churns, is what keeps it so soft. And the final one, that
Ginger and rum, ignore the pineapple, it'll be fine.
Oh, spicy. Oh, that is lovely.
which plays with that sensation of it is cold, but it's got a warmth of ginger.
I've missed pineapple, that's amazing. A good sorbet needs to be soft right through to its core. Sometimes they can be like rock solid in the middle, can't they?
So some sorbets will have other stabilisers in it. So you might have egg white in it, you might have xanthan gum, you might have locust bean gum, lots of different things that can stabilise it if you're going to store it for a long, long time. When you're doing this at home, because the machine will churn it and then hold it, you don't need the stabiliser.
And without the machine, is it exactly the same process as the ice cream you're making where you stir it every few minutes?
It is, but without the fat, even more difficult. You're more likely to end up with like a granita, more like a shaved ice, because you get more of the crunch. The constant churning as it freezes is what stops the sugar from basically crystallising too big.
Sorbet setting compared to the gelato setting, is it just turning faster?
Yes, and more consistently. It's going to put more air into it, but also slightly colder.
There's no denying these are fantastic quality sorbets, and something that I would never even attempt to make at home without that machine.
One thing to always bear in mind is the quality of the sorbet will depend on the quality of the fruit. So use really seasonal fresh fruit, or 2 of those were made with tinned fruit and our peach one. So actually you know the consistency of their being tinned and canned when they were ripe. Right, well, you've tried my 3 sorbets. Try your peach and elderflower. Tinned peach, elderflower cordial.
This is a brain freeze episode of this. Oh God, that's really hit the spot, that one. Whoa, that's really sweet. Because the peaches are already like packing a punch of sweetness, and without much sugar, absolutely delicious though.
Those peaches, don't forget, were in syrups. They were really sweet. The other thing you can do, if you haven't got peaches in juice, is add citric acid. It can just give you a bit more of a tang if you want to.
I'm surprised it doesn't have dairy in it because it's so creamy.
Your classic custard is now set. The machine is flashing. It's going to hold it like that for a couple of hours. It occasionally churns to make sure it doesn't freeze. Whenever you're ready, you can add in all of your texture if you want to, and it will do that final churn by pushing the manual button. And obviously, personalize it, put in whatever you want. Once you're happy it's all mixed in, unscrew the top, and you can lift the whole thing out to serve. What's really nice is that if you're doing lots of ice cream, they give you a second spindle, which is slightly bigger, and that can go straight back in, screw on the lid, and you've got a second bowl. Now, the second bowl is much more difficult to wash out because you have to do it by cloth, but it means you can interchange between ice cream really quickly.
Nice.
So you can take the spindle out to make it easier to serve. Yeah, see, there we go, into the tub, job done. Cheers.
Cheers.
It's soft serve, classic vanilla that just makes you go wobbly at the knees.
You couldn't get that out of a tub with a freezer. You have to either make it yourself in that machine or go to a restaurant.
Once you've made the custard, you literally press 2 buttons and you get that.
And I'm going to put it out there, you can buy pretty good ready-made custard now. It's definitely the thinner stuff you want as opposed to the more Devonshire thick, but you can buy cartons of excellent custard in the chiller cabinet. Number 4, let's get some booze involved with cocktail granitas.
I quite like this. It's mega sweet melon wine.
And we're going to freeze it. So you remember the craze of like frosé? Excellent for this. We can freeze anything that has a lot of sugar in it. So a simple sugar syrup, 1 part of that, and then 3 times as much bone dry wine. Because it's a slightly sweet wine, we're actually gonna add 3.5. So again, this is all about playing. Basically, you can freeze into a slushy or all the way into a granita, anything that you've mixed as a cocktail, providing it has enough sugar in it. Even a gin and tonic sorbet is wonderful, but it's not sweet enough. You need to add sugar syrup into it with enough of the gin and the tonic to get that consistency. 3-to-1, sugar to liquid.
What about cocktails with egg white in it?
So on this particular setting, it is designed purely for fruit, alcohol and sugar combination. So no fat, no dairy, no egg white, no stabilised, doesn't need it. And remember that alcohol lowers the freezing point. So you can't freeze something with 40% ABV. So you kind of need to pick cocktails that are already diluting that to a point that works. That wine's 11.5%, ideal. That goes into a machine, number 3, and churn it until you get a wonderful granita slushy. So whilst your Maloney freezes, I thought we could try a scroppino. So using the...
Bloody hell.
So yesterday I made, on the same setting, Aperol. Straight out the bottle, it's already got the syrupy consistency. A little spoonful of that, top it up with Prosecco. Lovely.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, yes.
The facey but
Oh, yes. I like the texture that the granita brings to it because it's melting. It's a little bit mushy, but then it gets into your mouth and it just all melts and you get the flavour.
2 things I don't like. 1, Aperol, yuck. 2, eating a drink. Never, not a fan. Yeah. My Maloney's looking beautifully pink and fluffy. Scoop it out into a glass, put a straw in it, and this is gonna hurt.
brain freeze.
Looks very cotton candy.
Oh, I know you guys weren't massive fans of Maloney straight, but as a granita, that's absolutely delicious. It's so yummy.
The consistency's like snow.
Oh,
There goes the brain freeze.
Yep.
it's like a really posh snow cone, isn't it?
The last thing I thought it was worth trying was some Froyo, frozen yoghurt. So if you're going to do frozen yoghurt, then you need to make sure it's got plenty of sugar in it. It's usually got a fair amount of fat already. We're going for a dairy-free option as well, and a vegan option. So you can add in your coconut yoghurt and birch syrup. You want to mix your syrup into your yoghurt first so you get the right even mix, and then it can go in, and when it's finished, you can throw through the berries. We're going to do it again in the scoop setting. Now, every yoghurt is going to be slightly different because it will rely on the fat content, and it might be different again if you're using, like we are, a coconut yoghurt.
Yep.
So you kind of need to get your ratios right. Have a play around with it. It's never going to be wrong, but if you haven't got the right sugar and fat ratios, it might not be as smooth. But then sometimes Froyo isn't.
Well, that was easy. Spinning everything around, it's breaking a few of the berries up.
And then hopefully stop it while there's a few broken, a few rippled, and a few possibly even still whole. And we should stress, if you're adding in fruit, do that last minute just before you serve it. If you then put that in the freezer, you'll have beautifully smooth Froyo, but the berries will freeze solid and they become crunchy. So only add them in if you're about to serve it. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Wow, that birch syrup. That is a whole new texture and flavour again.
Delicious. It's a lot cleaner. It hasn't got as much like structure as the custard-based ice cream, but really refreshing.
Depending on which sugar syrup, in our case the birch syrup you use, and the viscosity of it, will give the Froyo a different kind of chew. So something like corn syrup or golden syrup would actually make it even chewier than like a honey or a simple sugar syrup.
But like the custard-based one, it's ridiculously smooth.
This is the first time you guys have used it. What do you think?
In usability, really, really simple. You just need to know the ratios of the ingredients that you're putting into it.
It does come with 30 recipes. Like QR code, cookbook, online, you can just follow those, job done. Or you can do what I've done and try and break it down and understand the science of ice cream, and then you can get creative, and that's the part I've liked.
For me, it's like 10 times better than tub ice cream, but it all depends on the cost.
You've got to imagine spreading this cost over several years, and therefore at £499, you make up your mind.
£500.
I wonder, in the long haul, how long of a haul does it have to be to save you money?
I mean, it's a lot of money, but if you're into your ice cream or you want to get into your ice cream, that becomes a hobby. And you're probably prepared to spend a decent amount of investment on a hobby.
It's easy saying, like, we can make it worth its while, but genuinely, I still don't think I would have one at home.
You can buy much cheaper ice cream machines, but they don't have the freezing element. You have to put them in the freezer for 12, 24 hours before you want it, and then it just does the churning.
So this is the higher end.
This is the higher end, it's doing it all for you, and, well, you saw the quality you can make from it. Over to you guys, what do you think? Would you get enough use out of a machine like this? And comment down below, what other high-end kitchen gadgets would you love us to try?
Have you ever got to the end of a long day with no ideas, ingredients, or energy to cook? Takeaway? It'll be the fourth this week. Well, that's why we built our revolutionary Meal Packs app. Thousands of people are using it to shop, cook, and eat a whole lot better and easier while saving money as a result. You can go and use it in its entirety for free for a whole month and see if it's for you. The link is in the description box below. And now for the blooper.
I can see it now, can't you? Spaff's ice cream truck coming around the corner. You've got the outfit for it already.
Considering you didn't know what we were doing today, I love the fact you rocked up in your ice cream shirt.